Yeah, Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities, here we offer you. We gon' show you a new way. The content, it never strays from positive and uplifting. Once a week, the scope gifted. With the presence of your eyes, what a distraction. Beautiful to soul, especially in action. This year not ration, came in abundance. Films like in Sundance, tech like the pop art. Tachi Queen, you are Curtis, a beast heart. You must carry, cause MCs they all vary, and so do they motivate. World full of hate, we serve a hope on a plate across different platforms. Let's hear a buffet, hydration like Boucher. Don't focus on a day, we always here for you. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settled in our knowledge and conversations, gon' make them yours. What we run is Olympic, now your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, gon' make them yours. What we run is Olympic, now your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. Now you award winning with no award tours. This culture meets the art. Podcast with the heart and essence of the growth. The power's in the people. Without you, we ain't equal. What we lack is ego. We're back now, so here we go. Run the show like Arsenio. Episodic, our rituals, minds change through visual representation of our nation and its differences. Some explanation of our uniqueness and innocence. Mass media's intention is to desensitize. We raise the wise, and knowledge is power. Without it, we turn coward and proud of a known product. Like we could take it with us. I wish the greats were still alive and here with us, but it is what it is. We're left here to share our gift, and that's precisely what we'll do with it. Shape shift and fluidly, we can pass this test and still in our unity, elevating through stress. Yes, MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, gon' make them yours. What we run is Olympic, now your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, gon' make them yours. What we run is Olympic, now your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. Yeah, it's up to you. You got your torch now. MediaScope. We here for you, and you. We got it all. Tech, pop, music. We got it all. Tech, pop, music. We got it all. Yeah. Tech.
Welcome, everybody, to one of the livest media, tech, and pop culture shows on the interwebs, on whatever you're watching or listening on. This is MediaScope. We're here every week, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, for media, tech, pop culture, fun, foolishness, food truckery, libation, all of that. My name is Tachi. I'm a media professor, a filmmaker, a media content producer. I'm also a journalist. And usually it's not just me. Usually there's an individual behind the mic on the ones and twos. His name would be MC Curtis. MC, what's going on?
Hey, what's happening?
You sound so scared. What's wrong?
Oh, just busy.
What's Okay, that could be scary sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, especially with me.
Oh,
yeah.
Or are you scared of the ghosts that are sitting on the couch?
I think they've taken over the couch here.
I think this couch is haunted. I think this is saying it's time for a new couch.
Right.
It's haunted.
Well,
anyway, look who is what?
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Oh, well, look, I never have any problems. Let's be honest. What do I really have to complain about?
Absolutely.
So that is my mantra to life. Why the hell are you complaining? So things are good. Things are really good. It has been super busy lately, but busy is good. So
yeah, absolutely.
So look who we have here. Joan Balcom says, good evening to you. And something tells me I know who you are, but I just don't know who you are in Facebook land. So if you give me your handle on your Instagram handle, whatever, this way I can greet you properly, but I'm still greeting you properly anyway. Welcome. And Serena Wills, the queen of food truckery, the minister of libation, says, beep, beep, drinks. Oh gosh, drinks up. Alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages, but MC Curtis doesn't want to hear anything about the non-alcoholic ones. The rest of us do.
Was Serena skirting into the show on two wheels?
She came in on one wheel. She came in like this on one wheel today. One wheel. That was how she came in today. And look who's here. Dr. Vibe says, greetings, Tachi and Curtis. He's watching us over on the YouTube side, the tubing of the U. Welcome. So also, you need something to soak up all of that. I'm talking to you, MC. You need something to soak it all up. So today is Taco Wednesday. The food truck is here and in full effect. Go ahead and grab your tacos, your burritos, your hamburger, or is that cheeseburger, your salads. You need some green and also pita pockets. So we've got healthy and junk options. Take your pick.
Hey, how do you make a Taco Wednesday? Isn't it normally Taco Tuesday? You're just changing.
Sure is, but is MediaScope on Tuesday? Therefore, it is not a recognized holiday in the land of MediaScope. Today is Taco Wednesday.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
The kingdom or in queendom does not recognize Taco Tuesday. It is not a paid holiday here.
Right.
Nor is Taco Wednesday, but at least we recognize Taco Wednesday. If we were on Tuesday, perhaps I would recognize, but we're not. So today is Taco Wednesday. And I actually made some tacos earlier.
Well, that sounds good too. I might as well eat up.
Let me tell you what kind they were. Oh, God. Nothing is. Oh God, nothing is sacred. Nothing is sacred. He has finished all of the libation, but I can only blame you all because you know how he is. He stands at the curb waiting for Serena to pull up with the food truck, and if you're not in line before him, there will be nothing left. But luckily, Yolanda had put up some libation, so hopefully you didn't finish all of that too. Yolanda says she panicked thinking today was the anniversary. No, because you would have gotten a thing from me. You will get it tomorrow. The anniversary episode is next week, people. I am super excited because not only are we doing like we did last year, but this year we have performances. We have musical performances, sir.
I'm curious. How many bars of soap has Yolanda sold?
Now, what does that have to do with the price of bread in Belarus?
I don't know. I know it's random, but I just thought about it because I know
it's super random.
Yeah. So
that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Yolanda, please tell us, how many bars of soap have you sold? If she knows that, is she going for the Guinness World Record? Is that why you're asking her?
No, I'm just curious because I know she's always marketing. She's like the marketing queen out there. So
she is. Yolanda is the marketing guru. If you want lessons on how to start a soap business or any other kind of business for that matter, watch Yolanda. She's amazing. Out of Atlanta, Georgia. And look who's here from North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina. That would be Patricia A. Murray. Fantastic. Let's see. I'm trying to get everybody in. Ann Ellis is here too from Breakfast with Dryer Buzz. Hello, Ann. Welcome. Pull up a taco. Come on in on Taco Wednesday. Where's my beverage? My beverage is right here. I always have some sparkling water. I was drinking mint tea earlier, so I just put some sparkling water. Now it's got kind of like a minty taste to it, which is nice. So that's my libation. It's a raspberry lime sparkling water. And so with the mint tea, it becomes like a raspberry lime mint. Very nice. Okay, you don't seem excited, but I am. She came here on one wheel from southeast DC, but unfortunately, you spelled southeast wrong. For people in the area, is South SOUF East EAS Southeast. Okay, remember that for the next time.
South.
Oh, it's Joni Red Butterfly. Yay, Soror Joan. How are you? Because I'm like, I know you, but in Facebook land, they make you use government names. So it's like, okay, I know everybody by handle on Joni Red Butterfly. Hello. One of our good, not only a soror, a member of Delta Sigma Theta, she is also a CQ member, a member of the CQ Massive. Fantastic. We also had the bacon wrapped shrimp and champagne, so customarily given by our good friend Terry Johnson. Fantastic. What is this? Oh, a chef. I was like, is that a turkey? I thought it was a turkey. I'm like, why are you giving her turkeys? Okay, it's chef. See, some of these emoji are too small. Anyway, here we go. Yes, thank you. Southeast. And you have the T at the end. There's no T at the end of east.
Is that what they say?
Southeast. That's how they say that. Oh, where do you live? Are you talking about what area I live in? Southeast.
Southeast. Area.
Anything that's ARERIRUR becomes So if your name is Eric, it's Irk. That's DC, Maryland, Virginia for you. Very interesting.
That's funny.
Very interesting. You don't appreciate the little things about the DMV until you leave. So when I left, I'm like, I did not grow up on go-go music. I was not a huge fan when I was there. But now that I've come to like South Florida and that Miami, I was like, it gives me a whole new appreciation for go-go. And go-go is actually kind of dope. I'm like, oh, I didn't appreciate this when I lived in DC. But I don't know if I'll ever appreciate I appreciate Miami music as an art form, but yeah, it's interesting.
So when you were in DC,
I can't.
So when you were in DC, did you find yourself picking up the language too? The irk, and
I did not. No. I did not. I'm not from there, so
right.
It's not anything. But I do recognize things like if someone, for example, is instead of saying you're tripping, they'll be like, you're lunching. So there's some DC-isms that are there. So okay, Bama, I did pick up saying Bama. That's straight DC.
That's DC. Okay.
Even because Bama of the Week, Huggy Lowdown is a comedian, but he's a DC comedian.
Interesting. Okay.
So I picked up Bama from DC, Maryland, Virginia. Definitely. Yes. She said, yes, you're lunching. Yes, absolutely. Exactly. EU. So I have Terry said I have a glitter sofa. Though those are the ghosts of Christmas past. I don't know why they're here, but that means that I need to get a new sofa because the ghost and I cannot be in the same house. Anyway, let's do this. Let's start to talk a little bit about media, tech, and pop culture. Could I have the intro for media, please? All righty. Let me have the first story, please. The photo for the first story. We're going to talk about Netflix. Let's talk a little bit about Netflix. Starting off with that, Netflix has added 1.5 million subscribers in quarter 2 of this year. Remember, we just started quarter 2. It's July as the pandemic is slowing growth. Now, you may say, oh, they added 1.5 million subscribers. Don't you think that sounds formidable, MC Curtis?
Absolutely. It sounds like the entire world.
If I had 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube, you will always be seeing me doing some kind of DC, Maryland, Virginia dance. I really would. So that sounds formidable. And we're not talking about the entire year. We're talking about this quarter. In quarter 2, we're just talking about it. Fine. However, last year at the same time, they added 10 million subscribers.
Oh, wow.
So I think this is where the concern is coming in. They have to remember, though, and everybody needs to remember, there is a pandemic going on. Last year we were in the thick of the pandemic, right? And so we not only were we in a pandemic, we were basically in lockdown. Captive audiences will spend money on what the hell ever to keep themselves entertained. So what I'm thinking we're starting to experience now is a slowdown. What they don't want is churn. What's going to be the real test of how salient a lot of these streaming services are whether or not they're able to keep the subscribers that they picked up during quarantine, right? Now, because I could go outside, do I now let go of these subscriptions? Was I just holding on to them for the interim because I knew that we needed entertainment and now I can be free of them? Or do I keep them? And I think it's going to be the job of these streamers to say, I need to have content that these people cannot live without. You could basically just be mediocre during the pandemic because people were probably going to watch you anyway, especially if it was Netflix, because they're on top in terms of streaming right now. But now it's like, well, damn, I actually have to try because someone could decide I no longer need this because now outside is somewhat open. So I don't need to entertain because I'm quarantining. So, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I think it's very interesting because so with Netflix, you can have your mobile phone with you, so you're not necessarily having to be at home stuck watching some programs or whatever the case may be. You can have it on your mobile device as well, correct? Okay.
Correct. And, interestingly enough, although, during this time I've been home a lot, but I watch Netflix on the go all the time. If I know I'm going to be someplace and it's going to be at least an hour, I'll pull out Netflix. I'm a huge YouTube watcher too. So between YouTube and Netflix, I'm watching those. So absolutely. So again, that was 1.5 million, which is a far cry from the 10 million subscribers they added during the same time frame last year. And again, the pandemic had a lot to do with people acquiring Netflix, and not just Netflix, but other streamers. And now it's like, all right, I have subscriptions to Hulu, to Netflix, to Amazon Prime, to HBO Max, to BET Plus, to My Buddy Plus, to name any frivolous thing, and you have it because you thought you needed it. So now is going to be the time where people assess, do I really need this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so here's the thing. Here's another stat from Q2 that Netflix pointed out, that they lost 400,000 subscribers in the US and Canada in Q2. So they've gained 1.5, but they lost 400,000.
So we've got a 1.1 million.
Basically. Yeah. If you look at that, it kind of evens out to the 1.1 million. And that's what they don't like. That's what they don't like. So what are their numbers globally? They have 209 million subscribers, just over 209 million subscribers globally. Netflix also reported a 7.3 billion revenue in Q2, matching what analysts had projected, although they fell short of what Wall Street analysts projected. While its $2.97 earning per share came in about 20 cents below what Wall Street had a goal for the company. But here's a bright spot. Sales were up 19% compared to the last time, this time last year. So lots of numbers there, not doing exactly what they hoped, but again, up and down. I said this on IG. The market goes up and the wheels on the bus go up and down. I mean, do I have to sing this?
Right.
The media market goes up and down. Come on. Go ahead.
So question. Now, how much of their loss of subscribers or gaining of subscribers is due to canceling shows and bringing in new shows? Just kind of that, those shows are not working. And
you get a fan wave for that one. So that's a good question. They don't have it in what I've seen as to, because that would require a whole study to ask people,
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
why did you cancel? Or to gather the data that they gather with, oh, we're sorry to see you go. Why? And having them give a reason and compiling and aggregating that. So I haven't seen anything that has done that. But I would bet that content has a lot to do with it now, right? If you are a big MCU fan, Marvel Cinematic Universe, they've yanked all their stuff off of there, right? Because Disney owns Marvel and Disney has Disney Plus. So there's no reason, if you're there to watch Star Wars, if you're there to watch anything that is MCU, if you're there to watch anything that is Disney, you might say Disney Plus is probably a better way for me to go. And if I have to make a choice, I'll take Disney Plus for $200, Alex. That could very well be the case. So I think you're on the money with that one. You're so wise, MC.
Yeah, happens every once in a while.
Sometimes. It's because you haven't fully consumed all of the libation yet.
Not yet.
Serena Lowe is here. She says, and Paramount TV. Absolutely. Let me go back to the original. Netflix has too much competition now. Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, IMDb, yes, YouTube TV, etc. They can all be streamed anywhere. They do have a lot of competition. You're absolutely right. But here's my take on this. He, she, they that has the catalog that people want to see is he, she, they that wins the streaming wars. What's happened now is there's too much fragmentation, too much. There are too many. And so remember, when Netflix came on the scene, they had a lot of these licensing deals with a lot of different entities. But when these streamers, NBC took back Friends, right? Disney took back Marvel Universe. So when these other streamers decided, these networks said, oh, well, we could do our own streaming and we could get all our stuff back. So once our licensing deal ends with that, we're just going to run it here.
Interesting. So do you think Netflix will be acquiring any more companies, any more streaming companies? Let's just say Hulu or some of the other ones out there to obviously gain their subscribers. You think that's possible?
It would have to be a very small streamer that shows promise. Okay. I don't think, that's not, I mean, never say never. Because look at all these deals that we've had and these mergers where you thought these people would never. I mean, Fox, Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would have thought that? Nobody probably would have thought that on the surface. The people familiar with the situation probably like, oh yeah, we knew this was coming. But on the surface, the average person never saw that. So we could probably say Netflix and Hulu, please, but you never know. Never say, but okay, Hulu is what? Is that CBS? Is that CBS?
I think it's CBS.
CBS Viacom? I think so. Because there's so much muddiness now. Who owns what? So you never know. But that would be a bigger thing altogether for that to happen. There's a lot there. There's a lot to unpeel. Unpeel? To unpeel would be to peel it back. So to peel, yes. Sorry. I had to, semantics. Anyway, Serena says this. Yep, Marvel is all over Disney Plus and their new shows are fire. You get hooked. Absolutely. But again, you people know I'm cheap. I am not going to pay for anything other than what I have. And I love The Mandalorian. I'm not going to pay for it, though. Fraser Ramsey is here all the way from Scotland. And he says hello to me and to MC Curtis. We are well. I don't know how you are. I'm good. Let me not speak for you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, Fraser.
How's everything going in at the club in Dallas?
Oh, things are
doing
good.
A lot of traveling lately. Good. Making a lot of dollars.
Trying to.
I heard you made enough last time to buy a new pair of gold platforms. This time they're rose gold. I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you.
I told you that in private. You know that, right? You just
No, well, we've already talked about it, so it's too late now. People
Well,
know,
you know,
but I have to say I'm proud of you. I love to see people going after their goals. You wanted a new pair of gold platform boots to dance in, and you got them. You made some dollars, so congratulations,
no more private
congratulations.
no more private conversations for you. You just put all my
You
business.
act like you didn't say this on MediaScope before, sir. Let's see. Well, Serena says this that they had Prime Video and Disney Plus before the pandemic, and the only new thing they got was the Xfinity Stream Box, which came with the Wi-Fi subscription. Okay, interesting. Captive audiences. MC Curtis is good. He be clubbing. He is the club. In case you don't know. Fraser said, did you know scenes for the new Indiana Jones movie are being filmed in Glasgow? I did not know that. Thank you for putting that out there. Now, do you live in Glasgow or do you live outside? And have you seen any of it? That's interesting. But Scotland and Ireland are favorite places for filming just because the geography is so fantastic and it's beautiful when it comes to things. So those are famous places for filming. Let us know if you see any scenes. I'd love to know. Serena Wills says, "This question is for you, MC.
Did you shorts for dodgeball team?
Did you get any new tube socks and shorts for the dodgeball team with your money, MC Curtis?"
Well, yeah, not quite yet. Not quite.
Okay, he hasn't made enough yet.
Yeah, working on the durability of the shoes I just purchased.
Okay, great. Reinforce them maybe with some Gorilla Glue and you'll be good. That's right. Fraser's in Edinburgh. And he said they kitted out a street making it look like New York. Been lots on TikTok too. Yeah, I didn't notice on TikTok. You know, I guess it's who you follow on TikTok too. It hasn't popped up in my For You. So anyway.
Hey, is Harrison Ford going to be part of that Indiana Jones? Or he's got some kind of successor?
Good question. I want to say yes. Somebody else may know better than I. I'll have to look that up. I want to say yes. I'm not sure. You can't do Indiana Jones without Harrison Ford. Well, you can, but
well, he's going to be like Yoda. You know?
The views expressed by MC Curtis are not that was not me. If you want to come for someone, Mr. Ford, go after him. MC Curtis.
No, he needs a successor, you know.
The views expressed by MC Curtis are not the views of MediaScope in totality.
Or any of its affiliates.
No. But he has to have a role in the film. I'm not saying he's going to roll from a stone ball. He's not doing that now. But he needs to have a significant role in the movie. And I'm mad you called him Yoda. Good night.
So he won't be doing his own stunts.
You never know. Never say never.
Right.
Step to the side. Cut. That's a stunt.
That's hilarious.
Oh. That's doing your own stunts. If you have to bring in a body double for that, you need not be in the film anymore. It's time to retire.
His reaction was delayed a few.
Cut, body double. Yeah. So.
That's funny.
Jawaru Gambian is here. Hey, not in totality, but 49.99 exactly. No, in totality. In totality. Oh, Ed Frazier put the link for those people who want to see Indiana Jones Productions videos in the chat over on Facebook. Feel free. And yeah, you're right. Black Panther was filmed at Pinewood Studios in Atlanta, but also there were some scenes that were actually in Africa as well. I can't remember where they filmed, But yeah, and he said, but it's been sold, so not sure if that's going to happen for Black Panther 2. And they're filming now, but I don't know where they're filming. This is good to find out. Anyway, fantastic. All right, let's keep going. Could I have story 2, please? This is also another Netflix story. We did not have a chance to talk about this because this story came out after MediaScope came on. So after it came on, and I did talk about this on BizChick, so Terry will remember very well, we talked about the fact that Netflix is expanding into gaming, and they're going to kick off with mobile. Are you excited? You sound excited.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting to watch these companies, just do all that they can do or need to do just to stay on top, so it's very interesting.
Be all that you can be. That's an old song, never mind. For the Army. Anyway, yeah, they're trying to be all they can be, like the Army reserves, and buy up everything and get into everything. Because again, I just said this. Here's the fear. We're already looking at less than expected subscriber growth in Q2 of this year. Compared with last year, that's a big drop, right? So even though all of this is happening simultaneously, I'm not saying that this is the reason they're getting into gaming, but you have an idea of what your growth is all the way through the process. Month over month, we didn't add as many this month as we did last year at the same time. Right? So then you look at it cumulatively over the entire quarter and you're like, wow, this is really, but you have an idea that you're not doing what you thought you should do, even week to week, okay? So there's already probably a thought in their head of we really need to expand into other areas. Esports is big, right? That's a big thing. Gaming is huge. Why not get a piece of the gaming pie? And so that's why they're doing this. Games are coming to subscribers at no additional cost, according to them. So this is following the report last week. They were adding video games to the catalog. They now confirmed that they're going to move it to gaming, and they didn't really offer a whole lot of details into what we could expect, but they are looking at some other things. For example, to in terms of Netflix in totality, not just gaming, they're turning a reworked Star Wars pitch into a movie. The Witcher prequel just cast a major star. The Witcher season 2 has a release date and a trailer. So they're working on a lot of content, and part of their content is going to be gaming. So according to Netflix, subscribers will get access to gaming offerings, again, no additional cost. Similar to what they do with films and series. So you're not going to have to pay anything to this. And I'm wondering if that's being done because right now I'm sure that while there's an interest in gaming, is there an interest in gaming with Netflix? So to draw people in, you can't charge them off the bat.
Right.
Listen to this. Go ahead. And then I have another one. Go ahead.
My next question. So is this almost like a beta kind of setup here, even though you're not using the term beta in regards to just filling out the market and seeing how people are responding. And yet, like you said, they're not necessarily going to be able to charge people now, but at some point down the road, it'll be perhaps an add-on or something like that.
It could be. There's no use of the term beta necessarily. Right. It could be down the road that, they're trying to gather interest. But here's what we've learned, and you know this very well. You can't start off free and then start to try to add costs for things. People don't like that. We've all seen what happens with these live stream platforms that we've all been on that started free and then try to have other tiers. We're like, man, please, bye, Felicia. Nobody sticks around. So that would not be a wise decision. What they're going to probably do to make up for that is there will be cost increases in terms of subscriptions. They did not say this. This is what I'm saying. This is my belief. So rather than charge you separate for that, because you can't start in the middle, what you didn't start at the beginning. People won't
Right.
go for that. But why are they doing this? So according to the letter to the shareholders, they explained it like this. Since we are nearly a decade into our push into original programming, we think the time is right to learn more about how our members value games. That sounds like pretty beta language to me, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds really beta-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then, you know what, let me put this out there because I think sometimes people don't understand the term beta when we say that. That is not a full release with all the full features. It's often a limited release to a limited amount of people, or the limited features, and maybe everybody has access. Some things stay in beta forever. There have been some apps I'm using. I'm like, this is still in beta?
And also the beta piece of it is also the overall language that's used in regards to the terms and conditions or policies that they may put forth in a beta, but yet it also includes the language that has not yet come to a final finality or something like that in regards to
that too. That too. They haven't really fully fleshed out all the terms and conditions. Right. Absolutely. Right. And then there is, before beta, there's alpha. We know in the Greek alphabet, there's an alpha. Right. So there are apps that are in alpha too. And that's even a pre-release sure. When something is in alpha. That's really just basically like a test. When you do a test stream because you're trying to test something for the real show, that's basically what alpha is. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, no, good stuff. So, all right, Netflix, trying to get into gaming. Serena Wills has said Netflix popcorn special at the food truck, buy a large size, get a small free. Serena, you stay on it with the specials. Fantastic. She said, not the Army jingle, the Army jingle. For some reason, I've been thinking about this. And Serena Lowe says to you, true, MC Curtis, the movie Turner and Hooch had a successor for Tom Hanks and the Dig. Okay, maybe that's a thing. But yeah, so every movie has a successor, but he needs to be in it. Serena says that Harrison Ford made a comeback in a couple of the last Star Wars movies. Exactly. They needed Han Solo before they killed him off. I know. So he's out of a job now, so he needs to do this Indiana Jones. How about that? Right. He needs to. So Roxana Nelson is here. Hello, another CQ member. And Roxana says, my son says he will pass on Netflix. He's not paying to play Tetris. Wow. Right. Look, tell your son, don't sleep on Tetris now. Don't sleep on Tetris. Did you used to play Tetris, MC?
I did.
I was addicted to Tetris. It was addicting to the point that I used to hear Tetris music in my head all the time. And we would play it all the time. We didn't have our own Nintendo when my mother refused. So our friend down the street said, hey, you could just borrow ours. Oh, that's all you had to say. Right. So we played Tetris and Castlevania and all these things. So we're playing Tetris and we were so into it. Our mother was like, give it back. Right. We were like, but give it back. So that was the end of Tetris, never to be played again. But it was addictive. I was like to my sister, I was like, do you hear Tetris music in your head? She said, yeah. That's how addicted we were to Tetris.
That's funny.
We heard it in our heads all the time. Yeah. Serena Will says she loved Tetris builds skill. You have to see where that funny jagged piece fits. And then it just keeps going faster and faster. It's skill. If you master Tetris, you master life.
Absolutely.
That should be a t-shirt. Write it down, MC. Roxana Nelson says, I used to play Tetris all the time, too. I'm telling you, it's addictive, but it's a skill for life. Master Tetris, master life. Let's keep going. Let's have story 3, please. All right. So we are off of Tetris, Netflix, and we are on to the hill, unfortunately. And you know, we don't do politics, but this is important here. So the House has passed the Media Diversity Act, and this is important. House of Representatives has passed H.R. 1754, which means that if it's approved by the Senate and signed by President Biden, it would amend the Communication Act of 1934 to require that the FCC consider market barriers to entry for socially disadvantaged individuals in the media industry. Now, why is this important? Because it was repealed in 1995. And since that repealed, so when they initially enacted this, this was in 1978. This increased minority ownership in the broadcast stations by 550% until its repeal in 1995. So there is a definite need for it now, because if we look at the number of, quote, minority-owned radio stations, less than what it was then. So we still have ownership, but not to the numbers it could. And so this is looking at making that a requirement to make sure they consider market barriers to entry. And there are many barriers to entry for underrepresented people. Definitely. So we'll be watching this to see what happens with that, but good for them for bringing that up. Could I have the next one, please? Let's talk a little bit about podcasts. Got some more news about podcasts. According to eMarketer, the news category, there are some categories in terms of podcasts that are doing really well. If you don't have a podcast, I urge you to get one. Repurpose the live streams you have. Do something so that you have podcast equity. Get in on the ground floor with podcasts. I mean, they're everywhere, but there's still opportunities in podcasting. So get in while you can. And don't just make it a rubbish podcast about anything. Right. Make it count, right? Because there are already enough rubbish pod. Do you know how many people I hear on a weekly basis? Oh yeah, you know what? Me and my friends are going to start a podcast. It's always me and my friends are going to start a podcast, and that's fine. But usually when I ask and I hear, I'm trying to hear what it's going to be about, usually it's like, okay, but that's already being done. Why would I listen to you above someone else? And that's not to be disrespectful, but this is something that you need to think about before ever you go into that. Why would anybody listen or watch me above person X, Y, and Z? I mean, and you should be able to answer those things and answer them well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because here's the thing I hear all the time with pitches. Oh, this is different. Everybody the hell thinks they're different. Everybody thinks that. What specifically is your spin or your take that makes it different? Okay, say you do a true crime podcast, which is a category. People love true crime, right? Serial was one of the first produced by, I think it's National Public Media that produces it. They, or PRI, they were the first true crime podcast, and it was serialized. It followed this one case over a number of weeks. People loved it. It's like it was the number one rated podcast in the iTunes store. At the time it was iTunes, now it's Apple Podcasts. So there is money to be made and there is visibility to be had in podcasting, but make sure that it is well planned and that it somehow fills a need that is not currently in the market.
Yeah, that's really important because even with the different clients that we've worked with or done live streams, the planning piece, a lot of people don't want to do the planning piece. And so the planning piece is the part that really takes time, because it's very interesting, such as life, where you'll plan it. It takes hours or even weeks to get it done. But then once you got it done, it only lasts for 1 hour, or
exactly. It takes forever.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's the same thing with live streams. You know how long I plan for this, and I have to do the research, and then it's over in an hour. It's done. Absolutely. So you also have to realize that more work goes into the planning than the actual execution of it.
Absolutely.
And you have to be okay with that. Fantastic. Oh, wait a minute. Roxana says she taught her son to bag groceries using Tetris. You see, life skill, master Tetris.
Yeah, that's good.
Master life.
That's good stuff there.
That right there, that deserves something.
Yeah,
that deserves something.
Absolutely.
Atari was the original at best. I remember Atari. Wow. And Commodore 64
Yes.
and ColecoVision.
Yep.
That was the beginning of the home video gaming age. Before you had Nintendo, Sega, Genesis, Xbox, any of this, PlayStation, there was Atari and ColecoVision and all of that. And Sega. Well, early Sega.
Sega. Yeah, I forgot about Sega.
Remember those commercials?
Yeah.
Sega! I'm a TV addict, can you tell? Anyway, let's keep going. We're talking podcasts. Oh, and I see I'm freezing a little bit. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's the ghosts that are on the couch, the ghosts of Christmas past. But let's talk about the categories of podcasts. In terms of the largest share of types of podcasts, and maybe this is something you want to think about when you're devising what your podcast is going to be. The largest share of U.S. podcast ad revenues in 2020 were news. The news category garnered 22%, comedy garnered 16%, and science podcasts gathered 12%. I actually listened to some science podcasts. Do you?
No, I don't.
There's a really great. Okay, there's one I always used to love. Oh, what's his name? The astronomer. Astrologer. No, astronomer. Astrology is numerology. Astronomer. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes.
And Star Talk.
Right.
Really good. Star Talk. Really good stuff. Also, there are and I have to look at it. Because I listen to my podcast usually through Spotify. So because I listen to Spotify a lot, so I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to podcasts over here. So it's two women, two black women, and they do a science podcast that is just phenomenal. So they're both scientists, but they talk about like current events and mix it with science. So if they're talking about a specific process, they'll say, all right, well, this happened. That's kind of like this. And the molecules, amazing. So you'll hair. Black hair is a big thing. Natural hair is a big thing, right? So they'll talk about, for example, the molecular structure of hair and why when you use this, what this does. So they're taking topics that people care about in everyday life and relating them to science. Even if you don't like science, you'll like this. So I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it in the chat or something for anybody who's interested. So it's good stuff. And then again, so 12% were science. So you want to take a guess of how much revenue was garnered from podcasts in U.S. podcast revenue last year? Take a guess.
Through advertising?
Yes, the revenue for advertising. Yes.
2.5 billion.
2.5 million?
Billion.
You're a little in the neighborhood. You're a little less than that. It was 960 million.
Jeez.
Still a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
From podcast revenue. That's a lot of money.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting.
Absolutely.
So news is number one, but true crime that I was talking about, as popular as it is, that only garnered 7% in ad revenue. So even though true crime is a popular genre, for ad revenue, it's only 7% of that 960 million, right? TV and film, wow, Kevin and I do that TV podcast. That was only 3% of revenue. Tech was just 2% and music was just 1%. Now, this is not saying those are not the areas to get into. This is just where advertisers spent their money. But this just means that if you have one of these podcasts that are not popular for advertisers, that you have to form partnerships and relationships with people who do fund those types of things.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
That's it.
Absolutely. Or even just prepare to just, like we were saying, is just do your homework and just be creative with it.
Do your homework.
Yeah.
Be creative. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. And again, make sure that your podcast is filling a gap, a knowledge gap, or some kind of gap in the industry. That's going to do well for you.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get off of podcasting and onto YouTubing. Could I have the next one, please? What number is that? That is 5. Yeah, so 5. So YouTube, for those of you that are YouTubers, you're going to be happy about this one. They are launching a paid super thanks in 68 countries. They started yesterday, actually, as a way for fans to get money and creators for fans to get money to their creators that they want to support. Now, generally before, the only way that you could get money to a YouTuber through the YouTube platform is if they were live through a super chat, or they were doing a premiere video. So you couldn't do like a super chat and they weren't live. So if you upload a video, you couldn't really, do a super chat that way. You would have to set up something different for them to donate to. But now they have the ability to give you a super thanks, and it can be worth $2, $5, $10, or $50 in US dollars. And then, of course, it's translated into local currency depending on where you are. So this is good news for YouTubers.
So is YouTube taking a cut of that as well, or?
Of course they are. Of course they are. They don't. I've never known them not to take a cut of the thing. So I don't know what percentage that cut is, but yeah, there's something there. There's something there because they're taking a cut of the super chats.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, not all the super chat money goes directly to you. So there's a little bit shaved off from the super chats. Absolutely. So, I mean, unless they change something, but that's the way it was. Right. So, yeah, I can imagine that they are taking a small percentage from the what's the name? These super thanks. But despite that, you know what I love? I love watching these YouTubers that are really transparent with what they do. And I watched one who said, I've gotten a lot of questions about monetizing YouTube and what I make, so I'm going to talk about it. And she's one of my favorite YouTubers. She makes, from brand partnerships, she makes about $30,000 a month from brand partnerships.
Yowza.
Point to all the people that just make $30,000 a year. This woman makes it in a month. On top of that, from YouTube, just YouTube, she says she makes about $5,000 a month from YouTube. I don't know what I've done to upset the social media gods. I really don't. I must have done something in a past life.
Right. Absolutely. Right.
Because I'm looking at my YouTube channel, I'm like, that's not you. Jeez. But that's okay. That's okay. And I don't want to. So go ahead.
I said times 12.
Exactly. So you're making between $35,000 and $40,000 a month, and times 12.
At 30,000.
But
Jeez.
Yeah, but plus that's just from the brand partnerships. Then she also makes $5,000 a month from upload her videos on YouTube, the AdSense.
So that's 60,000 right there times 12, and then 30,000 times 12 is 360,000. So she's making, geez, almost. Yeah.
Yeah. The math is too much.
Yeah, right.
It's beyond the numbers we know and can fathom. But I mean, it's a good thing. I give it to them because the thing is, YouTube and being a creator, it's an awful lot of work. There's a lot of work there. There's a lot of money of your own that you put out there and that you expend, and then most people, I don't know very many YouTubers who started yesterday and are making like 5-figure months. I don't know very many. A lot of them are like, oh, well, I started doing this in 2009, or, I started doing this maybe in 2011. I've been doing this off and on. I started, full-time doing this in 2017, and now I'm starting to build a following. And here's the thing. This particular person, it's not even like she has 1 million followers. She just hit 50,000 followers.
Right. But you know what?
So to me, that's wonderful, but go ahead.
Absolutely. But the other piece of it too is that, and I was watching some YouTubers been a while ago, but they were saying that you've got to really, like we were talking about earlier, doing your homework, but you've got to find that niche that is missing.
You have to find the niche.
Yeah.
You have to find that niche. So whatever it is that they're doing, because here's the thing, once you get somebody who's doing well like that, and this person is in the beauty blogging space, the beauty, travel, lifestyle blogging space, which is huge on YouTube. There are a lot of people that do that, and particularly women that do that, right? But do they all have that personality? Do they have that? Because I watch her, let me tell you, and guys, it's really important. This is why I do the Be More This is why I do the Be More because you have a following, and they will follow you into a paper bag at the bottom of the ocean if you ask them to. That doesn't mean, this is the thing that gets me. This is going to be one of my Be More You have this fantastic intro that looks like it was put together by MTV, and then your video is like, hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is no microphone. Right. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say that that's very interesting that you mentioned that, because oftentimes that, like you're saying, people will have these great intros, just awesome intros, but when they come on, the enthusiasm does not match the intro.
And so too, the enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's something lost or a disconnect. Yeah, absolutely.
The low energy, lack of enthusiasm, or you come on and complain. I'm sorry, what are you complaining for? You have 50,000 followers. You have no business complaining. Be grateful and thankful. So this particular person that I'm talking about, this beauty influencer, the whole production level, it's just gone up and up and up. So what did she do? She got an editor. She knows that she doesn't have the skills to do all that type of thing. So what am I going to do with part of my $30,000 a month? I'm going to employ an editor so they could do all I have to do is the raw footage, and she could do the fancy transitions. She could do all of that and have it done, and it has paid off. So again, that's why I'm saying there's a lot of work in this. So even if you're not doing the work, you have to pay for that. So I am so happy to see people that are putting real content out there. And then I look at what she does, and I know you shouldn't compare, but I compare to others that are trying to do the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, you need to watch her, because something is not quite right in what you do. You have an audience, but respect your audience enough to get better. And that is our Be More moment of the day. Let's look. Oh, Serena Wills still has a Sega Genesis from when they bought it. Oh, yeah, hang on to that. It's a collector's item. Terry Johnson knows who I'm talking about. Definitely. And Terry Johnson also put a link in the chat. Thank you, Dope Labs. That's it. I was trying to remember. So the link is in the chat on Facebook. If you are interested, these two women talk about science. They are amazing. It is called Dope Labs, the Dope Labs podcast. I believe they are now in their second or third season, but just amazing. So every time an episode drops, I listen. Joaru Gambian said, did that ink? Sorry, go ahead.
Just real quick. Is that just on Spotify or on Apple or?
No, they're on every platform.
Okay, so I'm writing it down.
That's another thing. If you have a podcast, make sure your podcast can be heard on every single podcast platform. Some of them pick up the feed from Apple Podcasts. Some you have to go in and apply yourself. If you're using something like Anchor, they farm the stuff out for you. But make sure you're everywhere. So, Joaru Gambian said, did that income surge during the pandemic, or was that prior? Are you talking about this particular YouTuber? I think this was before. I don't even know. I want to say this was before the pandemic, that she was already garnering a lot of things. And, because these YouTubers work hard. These TikTokers
Absolutely.
work hard. It is a lot of work. You saw when I did those different characters, I'm like, yeah, how do people do this like every time?
Absolutely.
I'm like, if you get that from me once a month, you're very lucky, although it's fun and I love doing it. Right. I'm like, let me change. I have to change my costume again. Oh, let me put on another wig. It is work.
Yes, it is.
So they deserve every piece of 5 figures or 6 figures a month that they make. Good for them. Consistency too when posting to YouTube. Absolutely. You can't do one month and then say, oh, I'm taking off for 2 more months and then come back. Your audience will be there watching somebody else.
Absolutely.
So whatever consistency means for you, that's what you do. Sarita said, like the Zoom 101. Yes, let me tell you, that Zoom 101 video, that I enjoyed doing that. I enjoy doing things like that because I love physical comedy and I love improv. So I'm not a comedian, but I got voiceover training from someone who was an improv person, and I took improv for like 3 years. I loved it because it teaches you to think on your feet. So then when it comes to a cold read, you have no problem because you're already used to thinking on your feet. So all of that comes from my improv days. In fact, when we go back to Outside for Real, I think I'm going to join an improv troupe and like do improv classes, like join improv classes, because I enjoy that. Okay, you don't seem impressed. Anyway, we're going to keep going. MC, are you there?
I am.
Okay, just making sure you didn't drop out. All right, let's keep going. Sarita says, I'm telling you, I'm sending your video to Jordan's school orientation for Zoom. Please send it to them because I'm tired of seeing bad video. There's it's a year and a half now and people still you can't be helped then. I've come to the conclusion you just can't be helped. There's no penance for you. There is no help. You just want to wallow in mediocrity, and I will leave you there. I cannot help people who don't want help. Anyway, we're at 7:04. I don't want to take up too much more time, so let's do this. Let's talk a little bit about, I got to do the next one. Can we do photo 7, please? Clubhouse is officially out of beta. They've ditched invites and they've opened the app up to everyone. E for everyone. That's right. So they said this. We're thrilled to share that Clubhouse is now out of beta, open to everyone and ready to begin its next chapter. This was Rohan and Seth and Paul Davidson, who are the founders of Clubhouse. They said this in a blog post. This means we've removed our waitlist system so anyone can join. If you have a club, you can bring them all on. If you're hosting a public event, anyone can attend. You can bring close friends, classmates, family members, co-workers, and anybody else you like on Apple or Android. Took you a year, but Apple or Android.
So, question, do they have recording yet?
They do not have recording yet. I think they are still sticking to the thing that lessens the authentic conversations when you have recording. The reality is people want to repurpose good content.
Absolutely.
So I am not going to come to your platform to record or to have my good content only for it to disappear with the wind. I need to record that. Let's stop acting like people do not want to monetize and have a record of things. Is it only you that should monetize Clubhouse? Is it only you? So this decision came after the company saw that its downloads had jumped in recent weeks following its Android rollout in late May. So they had a rough March and they had a rough April, and now the downloads have started to increase again because it's available to Android users, with Clubhouse being downloaded 7.8 million times in June. And the most recent, and that's the most rather since the company since it was downloaded 9.6 million times back in February.
You know, I bet you.
Okay.
If they added that recording feature or option, it would be that many more millions of people downloading it.
Yeah, but you know how people are. Calamity has to happen before they make a move.
Absolutely, Tachi.
So it's like saying that's like having a club, right? And saying, well, we really like the people that are in the club now, so we're not going to accept any new members. We just want this, and then one by one, people start leaving because there's too much work for them to do because you're not letting in new members.
Right.
So it's a lot of work to sit there and invite people. I don't want to invite people. And guess what? If you're on social media, you're not trying to have a private club. You're there to connect with other people, probably that you don't know. Whether or not they intended this for this to be a true social platform, I'm sorry, that's the way people are using it, right?
Right.
If I want to have a private conversation, I will do a private call with the people I know. That's not this. It may have started off that way. That's not where it is now. And at some point, I think they will acquiesce and do recording, I think. All right, let's have a final story because it's 7:08 and I don't want to take up any more time. I will post some of the other things we did not get to in my feed. Let's do this. Let us go with story. By the way, the Samsung event is August 11th. So the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked is happening August 11th. Closer to the time, I'll give you some predictions of what's happening. But let's end with a nice story. Could I have photo 11, please? So guys, maybe you've always wanted to live in Italy. Maybe you've been dreaming of living abroad, and this may be your chance. I have something for you. Italy will pay you up to $33,000 to relocate to Italy, to its stunning towns. So located in the south of Italy, Calabria is planning to offer up $33,000 US. Excuse me, getting all choked up there because of this. To those who are willing and brave enough to move to a quiet town or village within the region. So there's an application you have to fill out, but this is the thing. You can't be any older than 40 years old. I guess they don't want a whole bunch of people just coming to retire there. They want people who are going to actually add to the, but you don't have to be just 40 to, people work till they're like 90.
Oh, absolutely.
Warren Buffett is still working. Anyway. So you also have to be, once you put in your application and it's accepted, you have to be prepared to relocate there within 90 days of the acceptance. You're then eligible to receive funding from anywhere between 800 to 1,000 euro each month. So each month, which is 950 to 1,186 each month for 2 to 3 years, or you could get one-time funding to help you launch a new business or activity. So that could be like a bed and breakfast, a restaurant, bar, rural farm, or store, or any of those other things. So you could get living expenses, or you can get a larger sum to open a business. So,
interesting.
Gianluca Gallo says this. He's a regional counselor of the area, says, we want to make demand for jobs meet supply. That's why we've asked villages to tell us what type of professionals they're missing to attract specific workers. So this project is called Active Residency Income, and they hope to breathe new life into the communities in these sleepy areas. Upwards of 75% of towns in Calabria currently have less than 5,000 residents. So some of these places run the risk of disappearing completely. And so that's why they're doing this. So if you're 40 or under and you're looking to move to Italy, particularly the Calabria region, this may be for you.
That sounds like a good deal there. Not too bad.
It really sounds like a really good deal. A really, really good deal. So I'll post this in my Instagram in case anybody is interested in applying. And with that, that is it. Let's take a couple of comments before we head out. Zeph Zan is here and she says, hi, Tachi. She is over on the LinkedIn side. Hey, Zeph, how are you? Teacher's fading into the background, into the fake background. Wait, which teacher? Where it must have been in something else. Anyway, Roxanne Nelson says, sounds like fun. Go ahead.
I think she was talking about your Zoom video that you were doing.
The Zoom video. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
People, I'm not even going to get into the lack of green screen acumen with that one. Why are you wearing a bow tie at the beach? You're not there. Stop it. I can't stand that kind of nonsense. Serena also says, I'm telling you, I'm sending your video to Jordan's school, to the teachers. Please do. Please do. Clubhouse is late. They've been in beta now for how long? Bama, exactly. This is now a year and a half, and they're just coming out of it. But, other people coming up with a competitor is a big push and a big kick to get you to do what you're supposed to do. Sarita also says, wow, relocate in 90 days and you have to be 40 and under. Yeah, exactly. I don't agree with the age thing, but I don't know. I never got to use my invite. Did I? On club, I didn't either. Whatever. Maybe we could trade those invites in for stars or something.
right.
There's got to be something to it. Anyway, and Zev Sand says, I agree about the green screen. Terrible. Or in the words of DC, Maryland, Virginia, terrible.
Terrible.
Just terrible. And with that, we're going to end, because we are now at 7:13, and I always hate to have us go so far past, but just wanted to get these things. And folks, you make Wednesdays so incredible. Don't forget, next week is the 6th anniversary of MediaScope. Be here and be clear, because I can't say be there or be square. Be here and be clear, because we will clearly have a lot of fun and foolishness plus performances. A lot of you are going to be coming on. It is going to be fantastic. The food truck will be live and lit in full effect.
Good stuff.
Yes, terrible. Just terrible. Absolutely. Thank you, Roxana, for saying great show. Thank you so much for the great show. Next week is going to be live and lit. So get your sleep now. Go to bed now. Go to bed now, because you're going to need the energy for next week. I'm telling you too. Go to bed now, MC. Get your rest.
Starting early.
Any last words, MC?
Great show. Yeah, great show.
All right. And next week is going to be long. Be advised, it's going to be from 6 to about 7:45. So it's just going to be long. Just accept it next week, because we tried to squash stuff into an hour. We made it last year, but it was a push.
Yeah,
so it's just going to be long. It was. Love you for watching. Bid you adieu. MC Curtis, you guys, myself, and the terrible videos on Zoom. We're all exiting. Stage left. See you next week. Cheers.
Yeah, close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something